Hello everyone, welcome back to the OS World Cup 2019. I'm joined today by Toy. How are you doing?
Hi everyone, doing great tonight. Excited for the next set of matches, of which we have China and Mexico coming up.
Yeah, we'll be covering two matches today. It's going to be China, Mexico, and then Korea and New Zealand. I think Korea, I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see Korea and New Zealand, considering it's been a long time since we've seen them play. But that's in an hour. We have China, Mexico now. China, very storied team, but lately kind of struggling to find their footing a little bit, looks like.
Somewhat. They seem to have they seem to be missing a couple people that historically have been fantastic on their team. You know, D-Sen, old player. Rust Bell, of course, has been missing for a while, but looking at their team right now, it doesn't look too weak at all, so they're nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, they still have some big names, namely GGBY, who's now playing his 8th World Cup, which is just insane. They've got Crystal as well, which has been... Crystal actually is one of my favorite players. He's a multi-mode player that just excels at so many different modes, and I think that is such a rare type of player.
Especially since he's also pretty well-rounded in OSA Standard. He's the captain of the Chinese team, but is also like one of the best players on their team.
Yeah, also namely on the Chinese team, we have my Angel Miku, which I think a lot of people are big fans of. I see that a lot. And I think my personal pick for a new player to look out, because they do have 4 new players, probably David, who has been recently kind of showing up here and there. I think he's gonna be quite scary. I think he's gonna put a lot on Mexico's plate to deal with.
Yeah, looking at David's performance in the qualifiers, he was probably China's best performer. He played in all 10 of the maps and was the second highest scorer. So he'll definitely be quite a force to be reckoned with. Though looking over at Mexico, we've got a pretty seasoned team, even though most of them, well, all of them have been stuck in groups for the last few years. A lot of names that we've seen the last few years, you know. Hebel, top 50 player. Wolfie's been back. Atsuru's back as captain. We see Riot again, Kevstrak. Like, all of them except for 2 have played in the last World Cup.
Yeah, based on how they played the qualifiers too, you can kind of expect Riot, Wolfie, and Hebel to play most, if not all of the map. Seeing as both of them played almost all of the qualifier maps and did really well on all of them, actually. So I don't know. Even though the seed is Mexico's the 22nd seed, I wouldn't say it's an easy opponent for China. So this should be a really good game.
Yeah, Mexico for sure has not a team that's completely new to this, so I'm sure they'll feel a lot more comfortable than some of the other teams that, well, China, right? They've got a bunch of new players. They might be a bit more nervous than some people who have been in the tournament scene here and there.
Yeah, we will now get into the warm-ups, and of course we do have the classic cultural warm-up. You can have a solid guess at who's warm-up this.
This one's mapped by Wolfie, going from a heart to a bit of a more broken heart. Now, one of my favorite parts of watching the World Cup at all is seeing what each team picks for their. I think it says a lot about them and why, like, what their purpose is here. Like, some teams might just bring something that they're trying to show off how good they are. Others are just like really trying to focus and play something difficult. Others are just here to show off the kind of, we're gonna goof around, we're gonna just have a good time to be here.
Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, that's like by far the most common warm-up we see. Like all the cultural warm-ups, like all of the, like Poland will always pick a Polish meme or something, right? It's just a thing. So it's nice to see more countries. I think a good reason why they do it is it's good to get the nerves out of the way. Makes it more like playful, I guess.
Definitely. Rather than trying to spend all of your focus on warming up and being nervous about how you're performing at any given. It's nice to just kind of let loose and goof around before things get real serious. I actually remember in one of the catch World Cups, there was a team that I put on some like national anthem and then just didn't move their catchers. They just sat there in the middle while the other team's like frantically trying to catch all the different fruits, and they just sat there like.
Or of course the one. Who was it? It was last year? I think last year's finals where Wolf did a map specifically for the warm up, like honoring all the teams that had lost up until that point. Like that's stuff is really nice. I like that we have warm ups in the first place. So there's a lot of fun things like that.
Yeah, playing in a lot of community tournaments, most teams just kind of choose to, or most teams or players choose to kind of forego their warm-ups because they usually have been practicing before the match and just kind of want to get into it. With this tournament, I think people like to just put a little bit of a show on for the audience.
Yeah, and then some others just pick the same map every time. Does that ring any bells?
What could you mean? Not like we mapped our own warm-up and played it for every tournament we've ever entered.
Yeah, who would ever do something like that? Alright.
Looks like China's bringing in their own warm-up as well. This already sounds like it's going to be excellent.
It's a good song.
This is like the warm-ups when you have like two teams that will play songs that are very like me. It's almost like in like fights, like MMA or whatever, where they're like the two teams face off and they like do a handshake or like try to intimidate the others. But here it's just whoever can out-meme the other team. It's like a national pride flex is what these are.
I will say I do prefer this one personally.
The Chinese F-Zero edit. Big Blue.
Do you know a fun fact? I can't confirm this fact because I'm not like 100% sure that that's the case.
More a rumor than a fact.
Yeah, but so in this song is oh, you're changing. No, okay, this is the one. Yeah, in this song it's Gachi, right? It's I think most people should be familiar with Gachi by now. And the Chinese like YouTube equivalent, yeah, this is Gachi. The Chinese YouTube equivalent, I think, like doesn't allow the visuals of that show, right? Because I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's very understandable, right? So in order to get around that, they actually made like Miku Miku dance Toho models like replicate what they do in the videos for these types of things. It's fantastic. If anyone has any spare time, it's a good time.
That's actually incredible. Just I don't even know what to say about it. It's just hilarious. I think it's a good time to point out one change for this World Cup that I think hasn't really been made clear to a lot of viewers is you'll see a lot of players be using no-fail during their matches. The reason for that is for this tournament in particular, no-fail has a multiplier of 1x, so it doesn't actually change your score, but it does prevent you from failing. So it's essentially the little workaround to have your scores count even if you fail the. It's been something that's like a change in rule sets that's been going around through the community tournaments that is finally being enacted in the OSA World Cup as well.
Yeah, it's basically just some different version of allowing failed scores to count. And just that rule by itself, we've seen that rule change so many map pools. Like it allows the map poolers to do so much more. And we've seen a lot of like pretty like dramatic results of not having that rule every now and then for the past couple of years, right? Something like dopamine, right?
Yeah.
Where sometimes it would just not matter how you played the map. All that mattered is that like you passed the ending, and obviously that's not the best like competitive environment to determine like who's the best team, right? So that's the solution to it.
At that point, I remember playing Dopamine in the 2016 pool, and it was just whoever could pass the map. Like, it doesn't matter how well or poorly you do in the rest of the map. If you don't hit that ending, it doesn't matter. But I remember also, like, sometime during that year, people were saying, wow, Uta is probably the best tiebreaker you could have. It's the most exciting, but I think map rulers were afraid to use it because the ending stream was so ripe for fails that they didn't want to use it. But now, the no fail rule, free to use it. And anything else that's similar to that. However, with the warm-ups over, we're gonna start to see some bans from both teams. Seems Mexico rolled higher than China, or no, that's a lie. That's just both
Yeah.
our Mexican players rolling.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because they keep rolling.
But Crystal from China did opt to pick first. We'll see what they.
I feel like it's actually
these teams will ban.
quite hard for both of these teams to determine what the other is good at, because just based off of qualifiers, like it's hard to know what Mexico's good at now because there's very little history or like recent history about them, right? It's like, do you look at the last year's group stage, which was really easy and people would like 4-way FC every map almost, right? Like it's not a very good indication. And in the qualifiers, they were kind of just well-rounded, you know, like they didn't have any particular strength or weakness. And kind of same could be said with China to some degree. China did do really good in no mod and hidden, but you know it's kind of hard to like target ban that. So I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll have to see what they go for bans. I can kind of see Mexico banning something like Silver Orbit maybe.
I would
considering China had the 5th best hidden performance in qualifiers. So
looking at their scores, I would not be surprised if Mexico wants to ban Silver Orbit. Though conversely, I would not be surprised if China wanted to ban something like Hard Rock, maybe even DT. Mexico's performance on DT1 was wonderfully solid. So if they're going to ban DT1 here as well, I would not be surprised. Yeah, here, DT2 ban from China coming out.
yeah, I don't think that's been a common ban, but I understand it.
It's actually been the first time a DT map has been banned so far.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of people are just comfortable on all of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Though Mexico's got quite a few pretty solid DT players, like especially when you've got leading the charge, it's a little bit scary to put your team up against that. I do like how whoever gets to pick their warm-up second is the song we get to hear throughout this whole.
Yeah, this was the good choice.
Hidden won a ban from Mexico.
Okay, that's interesting. I was casting a match earlier with OMG Force, and we said the same thing. It's like the other team is strong and hidden. They're probably so the other team's probably going to ban Silver Orbit, and they didn't. They banned Hidden 1. So I don't know. Maybe it shows that even if a team might not be that strong at Silver Orbit, it's the type of map where if you play it enough times, you know how to play it and you won't miss, right? So
yeah, Silver Orbit and a bunch of other of the reading sort of maps. They are very difficult to sight read, but the more you play it, the more you can really feel like you're improving on it within a week. One of the big things about like tournament and like practicing map pools is that some maps and some sort of skills you can't really improve a lot by practicing a map over and over. Like if you can't stream 250 BPM and there's a 250 BPM map, you can't really practice a whole lot. You can't improve that much. But with something like Silver Orbit, you can definitely get your team up to snuff by match day.
as we're talking about it, it is going to be the first pick from China, and I think in my opinion at least, even though this is Air 8, and a lot of people are like, "Whoa, Air 8 hidden, that's hard, can't do that." It's actually pretty like straightforward. I think I've seen a lot of like non-Air 8 players do well on this, right?
Yeah, I was playing through it, and I was pretty impressed at how consistent the spacing is in it. A lot of like more recent reading maps will try to use inconsistent spacing to try and trick you and make you feel like you're bad at reading. But this map right here is actually like all the patterns that you'll see will repeat, and it's not too bad. Like,
Yeah, it looks a lot harder than it actually is.
a lot more daunting at
you-
first glance.
Yeah, once you've played it a couple of times, it becomes pretty easy. But I do say that, but so far, stat facts. This map has the second lowest average score out of all the teams that have played it so far. The other one being the other hidden. So, but we won't be seeing that one as it was banned.
Understandably, honestly, because I think hidden is something that requires a lot of focus, and when you're playing in a pretty high stakes match, that's the first thing to kind of go. You know, you got your mind racing, thinking about whether your teammates are holding up, the opponent has missed yet or not, whether you're gonna FC the hard section or something. So if you're not focused, that's when like misreads or misaims tend to happen. I think that affects the hidden picks a lot more than any others.
Yeah, for sure. Especially this being the first map, which, in my own experience at least, first map is probably where people are the most nervous, right? And that can be a dangerous thing, but that can also be a very abusable thing. If you know your opponents are also going to be nervous.
Absolutely. One big thing is like if you try and pick like the very small CS hard rock map for knowing that your opponent's gonna have a bit of a tough time keeping their cursor steady.
I'm so glad I have validation from you saying that, because I actually pointed that out last game I cast. I was like, this is something the USA does. They pick the CS 6.5 and the other team just falls apart.
Definitely. I remember against China last year, we did that same thing. We picked the small hard rock very early on, try and throw people off. Maybe same sort of strategy if you want to try and throw people off with your focus on hidden.
Yeah, and very early on, it seems like it's pretty effective for China. But I do think Mexico did not, at least the Mexican players did not seem very happy about this being the first pick. I don't think they're a fan of this map. I think their scores kind of show it right now. China with a pretty sizable lead, considering we're only at the beginning.
Like we mentioned, David with 99% accuracy, looking just completely comfortable on this. Just no problem at all. Though Teriri also with the full combo right next to him.
Yeah, I think watching the Chinese team is going to be pretty interesting this year, because they do have 4 new players and not much is known about them, right? At least in like the Western world, not much is known about them. Yeah, so it's quite interesting.
Not sure how many like pretty casual players would even recognize most of these names on screen. Like I think Crystal's probably the most known besides Hebel as well, but everyone else can just be a surprise to see what they have to show off.
And yeah, the Mexican team seems to be struggling more and more. Right is the only one holding a decent combo, but
and just now Teriri, the biggest combo and only full combo left on China was so it's tough to say. I don't think anyone besides Riot right now has a full combo. But oh, actually, I lied. Crystal's just completely chilling in the corner. I miss him. he's having a great time. Now, Crystal, this is exactly what he's known for, you know, like just reading hidden. He's got no problems here.
It seems like quite a comfortable first map for China. Good pick from them.
Yeah, even if they didn't end up with like a whole handful of FCs, their Mexican opponents definitely did seem to struggle a bit more. Riot drawing a little smiley, just happy to be there. And you know how I was mentioning that that no-fail rule before? Because of that rule, it's only beneficial to add no-fail, though we see 3 of the Chinese players without no-fail here.
Yeah, there's no reason not to do it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, besides just showing off that you don't care, that you're better than... It's the only real reason to not use no-fail.
And it ends that first map more than 1,000,000 points ahead. That's quite something, but I don't know. I'm not sure how telling that is, as it does seem like if there's one map, there's going to be a gap this big. It's going to be on the hidden.
Yeah, I think China really found Mexico's weak spot and then took advantage of that. Crystal with the only FC 96,497. That was the weirdest way I think I could have said that number, but
Yeah, I think a lot of things that might not be too known about what goes behind like picking maps in World Cups, right? It's sometimes it's not so much about what you're good at, but more so about what your opponent isn't good at, you know? So maybe like something that isn't your own strong set. If you know you're better than the other guy at it, then you're gonna pick it, right? So
yeah,
I think a lot of like the research that you do on these teams can be super rewarding.
Yeah, especially when all of the maps that you're comfortable with, your opponent might also be comfortable with. It might be worth the gamble to not FC something, but just to know that you are stronger than the opponent on something. I think that's something that some teams will kind of falter for, because a lot of players will, want to be playing for the stream and want to show off that they can FC maps. But if your opponent can also do it, then you're just going to lose the point.
Yeah,
at the expense of that.
Kind of telling to what we were just talking about, Mexico going with DT1, which is a map where pretty much every team is gonna four-way FC this, or very close to, right? I think it is arguably the easiest map in the pool, so it's the map most people are comfortable on.
Yeah, especially with DT not being so aim heavy, there's a lot less room for error in doing something like DT1 consistent. If you can play the BPM, then you're gonna FC it most of the time if you can do it. And Mexico has shown time and time again that they're the team that can do like more generic DT maps every single.
Yeah, although we did see a lot of teams just find a lot of random breaks on this and the other DTs to be. So as comfortable as you can be on this, I don't know. Sometimes it seems like the nerves get the best of people.
Just random mishaps will happen, Some people might get small lag spikes. Some people's keyboards might double tap. But for the most part, should be seeing quite a lot of really strong performances on this.
Alright, small issue as we load in.
Just let the rest catch back up. You can see Riot was wanting to go triple time there.
He's too fast.
He's too fast. Everyone else couldn't keep up. We had to reload the client.
A lot of accuracy breaks early on. I'll say a little bit more than I would expect. I think what ends up happening is, especially since we just came from the air hidden, now people have to play like a faster DT. I think this is just air 10. It can catch some people off guard. Seems like everyone's is kind of recovering, except for Kevstrack, who's still struggling with his accuracy.
And on a map like this, when there's potential for all 8 players to FC... Oh, as I say that, Riot breaks. Accuracy is going to play a pretty big role.
Yeah, I mean, unless Riot breaks.
Unless that situation. But aside from that, or the situation where Wolfie also breaks. Besides those 2 scenarios, accuracy will play a large role.
Yeah, actually, Wolfie's still holding the highest accuracy despite the break. Right, finds another miss. Not comfortable in this one.
I think less comfortable on this one and just kind of getting into the swing of the map. Though China seems to have already found their footing, with all 4 players still holding their FC.
Yeah, despite some... Oh, Crystal actually does find a break there.
Correct.
That was a bit unexpected. There's like a note before the spinner or something. I was gonna say, despite the 4 FCs, which are now only 3, accuracy on the side of China could definitely not. It could definitely be improved a little bit. I don't know. Yeah. I think for this map in particular, we've seen some insane like we've seen some near SS plays on this. So I don't know. It's good to see that even though a team looks to be dominant like this, I think there's still a you know, something you can abuse. You know, there's still a weakness that's shown here. So even though it's probably going to be a quick 2-0 for China, Mexico can potentially see that. Hey, you know, accuracy is not looking too good. We can pick some consistency or something.
If anything, I might say it's something for teams of the next round to kind of look at. That if they were kind of struggling a bit on accuracy of the DT last round, then maybe the one next round is going to be a little bit harder and they're going to see a few more breaks. However, Hebel and Ebisuzawa also FCing this map.
Yeah, a lot of breaks near the end for the Chinese players. So only 1 FC on either side, but yeah, the score difference was over 500k on that one.
Yeah, we saw a few misses from the side of Mexico, but Kevstrak and Wolfie both have S ranks, which means they either must have misaimed just like very slightly on a burst or something. It's not your typical sort of misaim. It's just very slight and get caught. And
okay, this is weird. I thought this would. I was gonna say Mexico should pick something like this because this is very easy to get ACK on this map, right? It is the highest average ACK in all matches played so far, but China's the one who picked it, so that's gonna be interesting.
Much like Chaos King of the qualifiers, if you can combo through the different alternating patterns, then you're going to be having quite high accuracy. And Crystal, of course, as we know him, this is also something he excels at, is these sorts of alt B maps. Also probably the jammiest song of the entire pool. Like, this has been picked the most out of any song so far. This map.
I think this has... I don't have the stats open right now, but I think this has 100% presence. Always pick their band.
How many matches have there been? 7? If 7, then yes.
There has been 8.
Then
now 9. Well, it is still the highest presence map.
And they've all been picks as well. No bans, just all teams wanted to play this.
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to DT1, like we were just saying, this is a map that every single country will have 4 players comfortable on. It is very, not basic, but it is very common, I would say. It is not an unusual mapping style here, which we do see a lot of, like in Carnation, for example.
Yeah, I think, though, the thing about maps like this is that most players will probably be able to play it and be able to FC it, though I find that these alti-style maps are the ones that players tend to make really simple mistakes on them. Like, it's very easy to either like misread something or just kind of lose your flow and miss an entire pattern.
Yeah, Wolfie does find a miss at the beginning, though. I don't know how impactful that's going to be, but I don't know. If everyone else FCs, that's going to be quite a big deal.
As long as China holds their combos, it's going to be quite impactful. You can see their lead is just inching out further. A couple of SS is still on the board as well for China.
Yeah,
their
they actually
accuracy
had 3 with David, but he did find 100.
Yeah, I think collectively China has 3 100s on their 4 players. I also find it interesting which players choose to either alternate these maps or which ones choose to single tap. A lot of players who are stronger at DT will choose to single tap them, and others who are more reading players will alternate.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to be to single tap this, because this would be pretty fast, wouldn't it? This would be 268 BPM single tap.
I wish I knew that before I had played it. It's faster than I had actually thought it would be.
Oh!
Ooh.
You're actually finding a miss. The Flame Shock actually answers with his own, so pretty much even still. So it's still just going to be a lead on the side of China off of Wolfie's earlier miss, and it's just off of accuracy. And again, those same 2 players do find the tilt misses, man. What's he missed once? Abisazawa finding another one as well, but and again, the second one, the tilt miss, man, it's always there. So it's not now only 2 FCs to 2. But Wolfie has the 1K combo on his back. I don't know if there's enough time for him to come back, but
I don't think there's enough time, but the combo advantage is in Mexico's favor, but the song is just about it.
Oh man, he needed like 10 more seconds, but not going to be enough.
That
44,000 point victory.
I gotta say that red bar is a bit deceiving, because that's a lot closer than it looks. It's about,
Yeah.
what, 50,000 points?
Yep.
It looks like they have a much stronger lead than that red bar indicates.
Crystal finding 100 FC on that, almost the SS.
David Q as well, 3 100s, and then Hebel from Mexico with 4 100s.
We have seen a lot of SSs in this. So far, we've seen 3. And we've only played like half of the round of 32 matches, so it looks like this is a very accessible map, I guess. It is the easiest to act, so.
Do you think it might be the easiest of the pool, considering most teams have opted to pick itself?
I think so. I think DT1 would be that.
It's fair.
I think DT1 has most players comfortable on. I think this one is more susceptible to just random misses. Right?
Would you say DT1 was easier because more players are comfortable with it, or it's like objectively anything?
No, it's just the most common like play style, I suppose. Like everyone can play that. I'm not a DT player, and I can play DT1. That's my gauge. If I can play DT map, it's too easy. We will be seeing DT3. I believe.
Yeah. I honestly think that Mexico realizes that DT is their strongest suit, and if they're gonna have any chance of taking a point off of China, DT is going to be the way to go. Maybe just shake off a bit of the nerves that are present, because it's been slowing them down a bit in the last couple maps.
Looks like there's a bit of a misunderstanding. China did ban DT2, not DT3.
Yeah, they banned Saison's Spectacle, and I think they wrote that out. Like, I think they wrote out the name of it.
So this is a valid pick. Maybe it's one of those things where, you know, in their own files or whatever, they had DT2 and DT3 swapped.
Could be. It doesn't look like a misunderstanding by the whole team, though. Just maybe a player that got mixed up. So do we have a ruling on if a team misbans something? Like, they'll write something out and then take it back either like a minute later or like a few seconds. Do we is that pick or ban locked in, or is there sort of a grace period where they can change if they kind of messed up?
Honestly, I'm not a ref, so I don't know for sure, but I would assume no. I would assume if there's a grace period, it's like 5 seconds or something, you know? Like, generally, once you type something out,
Right.
you know, it's up there. We have seen a couple of cases where I don't remember which team it was, but I do remember someone typoing their ban and like not realizing it until like somehow no one noticed, you know? So they type like nomod 5 instead of nomod 6 or whatever. That was pretty funny.
I think that's why it's best to just write out the name of the song you want to ban.
Yeah, you just paste the whole thing in.
Just to type the entire thing out. This one gets ethered. See, I don't want it. I'm gonna write it in my death note right here.
You just ban it by the ID. Just post the map ID in chat.
Just delete it from the website. No longer exists. We banned that. Wipe any memory of anyone ever playing that map. It is gone. Which map? It never existed.
As we get into Mexico, despite the very early accuracy lead,
Slight accuracy lead for Mexico, yet Kevstrak with 91%. Only to be matched by China's like 93.
Terry and Kev actually find misses, so they both trade. So the lead is still in Mexico's favor, but I think this is a good pick for Mexico for exactly the reason I pointed out earlier. If you notice the accuracy, it's pretty dominant towards the Mexican side right now because this is OD8 DT. It's super hard to be like precise on all these pretty fast bursts, right? So a lot of accuracy struggles on the Chinese side here. Mexico is taking advantage of that.
It's also significantly faster than DT1. DT1 was 222 BPM, and this is 255. So Mexican players who are a lot faster than maybe the Chinese players will.
Oh, hold on a minute. Crystal actually does find a miss. That's right in the middle. MBC as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
David now the only on the Chinese side. So yeah, that's pretty bad for the Chinese side. And that's gonna be really solid lead for the Mexican side.
Yeah, Mexico's lead is going to grow significantly now, especially during this little slow section. They've got 3 FCs still on the board, and Kevstrak with 5, nearly 600 combo coming.
Pog.
A lone pog in the wilderness. If a pog is written in a map and no one's there to hear it, does it make a Though I think it's pretty sealed at this point. 3/4 of the map already played, and Mexico's lead is pretty far ahead. They're too far ahead to catch now.
Hebel actually has really good accuracy on this right now. I don't want to jinx it because the ending could still drop it, but we haven't seen many 99s on this. I just had to say something. Kevin Wolfie fighting misses in the end, so actually I think both of them had no, Wolfie had not broken up until that point, I believe.
Oh, Hebel, all of them miss right at the end. No FCs left on Mexico's side.
Not at all.
And yet, despite that, a 500,000 point lead. Mexico coming back saying, we're not getting clean sweeped today. Very solid from all of them.
Yeah, definitely a good pick. Looks like just judging from the whole misunderstanding with China potentially meaning to ban this instead.
I do want to point out really quickly that Hebel, despite slider breaking right before the end, has a much higher point lead than David, who did FC it. So you can see just how much that 98% AC is going to help you versus having a 95% FC.
Now we're seeing variable. pretty it's kind of rare to see maps pick that fast, honestly. Just no hesitation. Like as soon as the other one ended, no mod 3.
I think both teams just know what they're good at, and they know like their sort of game plan.
I would hope so.
It also just shows just how prepared these teams are. They're ready to go. They know exactly what their game plan is. Especially with these sorts of teams, they're very different in what they're good at. So I think it's very obvious. Like Mexico wants to go for DT, and China wants to go for the like reading map. Variable, of course, landing more on the reading side of that spectrum. A lot of very technical, for lack of a better word.
I think most of the misses on this will mostly just come from aim, to be honest. Even though there's very little aim in this map, but if you're gonna miss, it's so long that you're eventually just bound to get a random slider break somewhere. It's happened a lot. We'll be seeing Atsuro coming in, I believe, for the first time in this match, as well as GGBY. It's always nice to see. Again, his 8th World Cup. Not many people play for that long.
I think it was former #1 in ranked score as well at some point. Am I remembering that right? He's played a lot of
I remember something like that, yeah. Maybe 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, before Satsuma came in and took over the world.
Pretty sure you follow that leaderboard much more than I do.
Oh, there's a whole Discord server for score farmers.
Wow.
It's an active community.
Yeah, that I did not know. See if you can farm some score on this map.
Bound to be worth a lot. 1700 combo, I think, at its max. Looks like Mexico swapped in their captain here as well. Atsuro, I think first map we've seen him on today.
Yeah, I think on this type of map, I would pay attention to Crystal and David. And as I do say that,
Take a good look at David.
I'm glad I made everyone look at him miss. That's fantastic. But Atsuro will answer with his own. So the lead is there is no lead. It's pretty much all tied right now.
Yeah, it might come down to accuracy as well. Riot and Hebel and Crystal all with 99.7.
Oh, wait, that was client. Atsuro never missed. So still 4 FCs on the Mexican side, but we did just get started. All right, what about that one? Is it client gonna fool me twice?
No, I saw a 50, so that was probably a slider break.
You never know. Riot also. I don't know. Okay, those look pretty real to me. So 2 slider breaks on the Mexican side there, and none since David on the Chinese side. To be fair though, that was one of the harder parts of the map, so this is when it really starts picking up, right? So it's where you would start to expect a break, if any. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Hmm?
What? How did what? 3 breaks on the slow part? Alright, looks like everyone just forgot to blink or something. 4 breaks! 4 breaks on the slow part. Alright guys, come on.
China's just gonna run away with this because of Crystal and Ebisuzawa's combo advantage. Those reverse sliders just boosting them into outer space. 1100 for both of them, and the highest for Mexico right now is Riot with nearing 6.
Yeah, David just broke his combo. It wasn't a full combo, but it wasn't 1,000. Yeah, unless Crystal and Ibisu break here. Honestly, even if they do, this looks pretty done for.
Yeah.
And we are now on the hardest part of the map, so Might see a couple breaks here and there. GTBY and Hebel finding one for themselves. And Evisu and Riot, so only one FC now.
Just Crystal, the lone rider out here.
Wait, David never missed. Okay.
What?
See, sometimes you just never know.
You know?
It just gives you the surprise like 30 seconds later.
David just hid in a cardboard box and then popped out near the end of the marathon. Just like, hey, I've been running this whole time.
Alright, so I was completely correct in the beginning when I just, told everyone to watch Crystal and David as they both get the highest score.
Watch David.
The highest accuracy is David, despite the one miss at the very beginning. Only 500s on this. That's pretty insane.
Watch David, everyone, because he's about to pull a magic trick. Now you see him, now you don't, but hey, now you do again. Here he comes.
So I think without that miss, that would actually be the third best play on this map we've seen so far. Only behind Mr. Boom and Red Pixel, so very good performance. Unfortunate miss. I'll take the blame for that one. I kind of cursed it a little bit.
Fantastic act, though, despite the 1 miss. Wow.
And now free mod 1. Again, the instant reply on the Mexican side. Now China's on match point, so Mexico does not have a lot of room to have any mistakes here.
Remember earlier when I said that that rail map was the jammiest of the pool? I completely forgot this one existed, and every time I hear it, I get a little bit... I love this song.
I think this map kind of piques my interest about what mods people run on this. I think when we're still in early stages and like it's completely viable to go HDHR for some people, it's kind of interesting to like think about what people are gonna run, like if they're gonna go for a safer option, or if people just add hidden to the hard rock anyway because it doesn't add much difficulty. Or we've seen a lot of the underdog teams just completely over mod, just in hopes of just having more points from the mods themselves, right? So we'll see if Mexico chooses to do that, but.
Yeah, I believe it's just pretty generic sort of map, right? Like, not too much to write home about. It's just a really standard map. Just really well done. There is, I believe, a relatively longer 220 BPM stream right near the beginning.
Yeah. Very familiar with that one.
I think you and I both. That might be a place where people just either drop a lot of accuracy or just kind of lock their finger. Lots of mods.
That's a lot of mods on the Chinese side. 2 HDHRs, 1 hard rock, and 1 hidden.
And 1 no
just
fail.
3 mods. The no fail, I'll point it out.
1 no fail for each team.
One more thing that's worth noting now that we're touching a free mod map. We do mention this, I think, every single match. But it has been like 8 hours since the last one, so I'm sure it's a different crowd that's watching right now. The new free mod rules this year require a player on hidden solo and a player on hard rock or HDHR, right? So you can't just have 2 random mods. It has to specifically be one of each at the minimum, right? So
yeah, and HDHR using both mods will count for the hard rock rather than the So you will still need to run a solo hidden player if you're using one with hidden hard.
That basically means it's no longer possible to do like quad HHR, for example, which we have seen a couple of times last year. It was quite entertaining.
Ooh, everyone nailing this stream aside from Flame Shock. I will say that this new rule allows for some more reading-based free mod picks to kind of force some teams actually play the lower AR maps rather than bypassing them with hard rock.
Yeah, there's a strong lead on the Mexican side right now. It looks like the mod choices for the Chinese players may not have been the best options.
Though Mexico looks like they know exactly what they're doing with their mod choices, because all the players using mods still have their full comp.
Yeah, 3 FCs to 1. Although it's definitely not over yet because there's strong combos on everyone that's broken.
Just unfortunate misses all around for China, though they were pretty early. So if we do see later ones like on Wolfie, there is a chance for China to come back. And Crystal now. Bringing it back to Mexico's favor. Crystal being the highest combo just now gone, with Riot and Hebel still holding strong. The 2 Hard Rock for Mexico.
Yeah, the 3 high combos on the Chinese side. There's no FCs left on the Chinese side, but there are 3 massive combos, so it's still quite scary. Could still go either way, even though Mexico does have a sizable like 230k lead or something.
I think it's just still going up though, because despite Flameshock missing early, he's also like kind of on par with the Chinese combos, and then Riot and Hebel just maxing out what they can do. It's looking pretty solid.
I just gotta hold it until the end.
We should remind everyone that only Riot has no fail on. So if someone fails, not gonna name names here, if someone fails, there's a chance. So I really doubt there's gonna be one. It's looking like a really solid second point for Mexico here.
Very good pick from them. It's actually quite nice to see a pretty solid victory from them. 367,000 points in their favor with 2 FCs, 2 Hard Rock FCs nonetheless.
Just like really unfortunate early misses all around 900 combo, or like 300, I suppose, for China. That really hurt them because gave Riot and Hebel the green light to just run away with it.
All right, so it was 4-1 a minute ago, and now it looks a lot more closer. Not over yet.
Still a long road ahead for Mexico if they want to bring it back, because they will have to play the tiebreaker to beat China. However, not saying that's never been done before.
We actually have not seen the tiebreaker yet of 8 matches, I believe.
Have we seen any of the like more closely seeded ones? I guess we have seen Hong Kong and Norway, which were the 15th and 18th seeds, as well as Indonesia and Italy, which were 13 and 20. Those are the closest seeding pairings. Though I think both of those matches ended up with pretty convincing wins.
I think I'm personally looking forward to the France game. I believe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow for us, but
yeah, Sweden versus France, the 16th and 17th seed, and yet, like, of course, seeding is supposed to predict like which teams are roughly at what level, but those 2 teams seem pretty equally matched. Like about as equal as you can get. I'm actually more looking forward to seeing Romania and Japan. I want to see how that turns out.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
one is a toss-up.
Also, a fun fact about that game is if Romania wins, they're against Poland. Ooh! I'm not saying anything, but you know.
I'll say something just to remind. Well, no, just to give context of why that's notable is Romania was the team that knocked Poland out in groups of last year, along with, I believe, Austria beat them in groups, but Romania was the team to take that second point to deny them their entry. So that'll be interesting. I remember someone was saying something, I think it was Juan, he said something like, if France had just gotten 1 seed lower, they would be against Hong Kong, who they have faced the last couple years in groups, and they've just denied France their entry into the knockout stage of the tournament.
Still deciding on their pick. They do decide on 4 Ultra players, so I mean, they won on the DT maps, right?
Yep. I think they're just picking whatever's the highest BPM.
Yeah, I mean it is quite similar. Although the AR is significantly lower than the DT maps, but yeah, a bit of a speed
Well,
might be good for them.
Let's think of what other options they have, right? They have Mephisto, which is 170 BPM. It's pretty slow. They have Junshin Always, which is just mostly aim. And that's honestly, most of the time, kind of a toss-up in these sorts of earlier stages. They've got both Hard Rocks open. I don't think either of these two teams really feels super comfortable like on Hard Rock. Of course, they've got players that are like pretty strong, but I don't think like as a whole they feel super good enough to pick it. I don't know. I think Ultra Players is not too bad of a pick, especially if their players are feeling up to it. Played 2 DTs so far. The fingers have got to be warm. This map actually, though, mapped by Toybot specifically for the World Cup. We've been seeing a couple maps that have been mapped specifically for this tournament. I think Hypersonic in the qualifiers was also mapped specifically for.
And Silver Orbit in the same pool.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I honestly find that really interesting because that gives the poolers like a lot of leeway in like finding a map that's exactly what they need to balance out a pool. Early miss from Wolfie.
Oh, what's happening?
Whoa.
from everyone. Only 3 FCs left.
I'm getting whiplash. I'm seeing so much red.
I know. Okay, it looks like
No, it's
Zero's miss wasn't real. Okay, people are really struggling on this map. What's happening?
not a lot of really strange rhythms. It's not just like your typical stream map. It's got quite a few like differing rhythms that'll choke you up, and it's really messing everyone up besides a few.
It looks like everyone has mostly recovered from the beginning. I think it just took everyone off guard or something. Cause
everyone just took a
so many misses. Okay, Teruri does find a miss at a more critical point than the beginning. So, even though China does have the point lead, Mexico does have the combo leader now.
Mexico, though, not out yet. It's a very close game, and if either Crystal or David break right now, like, we could see Mexico come in like red hot.
Turo and Wolfie do break though, so it's only Hebel with a full combo and Riot not too far behind. But,
did you see Hebel though?
No.
He got like a full 100 stream there. Still has his combo, but it was scary.
This is pretty much all on Crystal and David to see if they can keep their combos at the end. But yeah, the gap is just increasing, and with Riot breaking, that is pretty much it.
Yeah, we see no one with no fail, so once again, fail potential is technically there.
They have the same accuracy. I just want to point that out. The carrying duo of China with the exact same accuracy. Very fair. And
strong finish.
That will be it. Yeah, very strong finish. Again, Crystal and David with pretty good accuracies, all things considered, on this map. It's quite hard to tell.
Same accuracies, but David with one more combo, showing he's just slightly more alpha than Chris. And so that's China, the winner of this matchup. China, the 11th seed, beating Mexico at 22.
Yeah, and that was actually quite an interesting match in my opinion, seeing the new players, namely David. I did mention David before the match began, but I mean, kind of just showing us that, you know, China's scary again this year, I would say.
Yeah, these new players are exactly what they needed to kind of get a refresher from when their old star players just kind of stopped playing. David really showed up in the qualifiers and he's showing up again in this round. So China moving on, going to face the winner of Germany versus Chile in 13 hours. So sit tight.
I believe we're now swapping over to Korea and New Zealand though, as soon as that match is ready. So, not over for us yet.
We got one more before another large break, and we'll get a whole new round of matches. I do think personally if you were to catch any match, it would be Romania and Japan. I think that one will be a very, very close match. Plus, we'll get to see your debut, Azer, for this year.
Oh, yeah.
I get to cast that for you. Exciting. Take a quick look at the bracket, how it's going so far.
And with that win, we'll be facing against the winner of Germany and Chile. And Mexico dropping down to face... we don't know that yet. Actually, I think it's just straight up the loser of Germany and Chile, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, whoever loses between Germany and Chile will face Mexico down in the losers bracket. The only matchup decided for next round so far has been Brazil and Russia, and that already looks like it's going to be a very, very good. Like Russia, I think on paper, you look at their team and you see like Alimetri and Red Pixel and Talala, and they look a lot stronger than Brazil, though Brazil has been really showing us this year like how good Mouse Easy and Mistia and the other Mistia like just like completely decimated. They've got some great names, honestly. Some good names in there.
I think the Brazil versus Russia thing, I think both of those teams have a lot to prove. I feel like a lot of those teams are historically very underrated. And yeah, that should be a very interesting match next week. But for now, is South Korea versus New Zealand, which may not be as close on paper as Brazil versus Russia would be. But we do see South Korea, which is a very dominant, historically the most victorious team in all of the World Cups, coming up with a pretty huge roster this year after not the best of performances last year, all things considered, compared to how they usually do, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, if we take a look at like the result from previous years, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Yeah, their lowest performance last year, like out of any World Cup, OSA World Cup they've performed in, they were out at 9th to 12th place when historically their worst result was 4th. So I think they're trying to come back on a bit of an upswing this year. And looking at their roster, it would be hard pressed to find a team that can also take them on. They are looking fierce this year.
Yeah, and on the other side, it's a roster we haven't really been accustomed to. It's a roster that usually doesn't really play in the World Cups, or just simply hasn't made it in a very long time. But now with the qualifiers, they do have a chance, and they did show that they earned it by qualifying, right? So
yeah, New Zealand I don't think had a team in 2017 or 2018. And yet, despite that 2-year gap, they've got 2 players who have been playing in the World Cups at least 2 other times beforehand. You've got Short Potato, who's making their 4th World Cup appearance, and Yellowy, who's making their 3rd. So a couple of veterans, but everyone else, all new faces. And they're coming up against like one of the scariest monsters of the World Cup. It's got to be nerve-wracking. We'll see how they stack up here.
yeah, a lot of big names on the Korean roster.
A lot of names that you must be familiar with.
Yeah, namely Firebat in the room, I think everyone was going to be familiar with, but I think most notably, at least for recent history for Korea, Gomo and Karuna. Even though last year the Korea did not do so good, those two showed up so huge every single match. They carried so. Those two are probably the two scariest players on this Korean roster, if I would say personally.
That's hard to say. Like, just looking at the entire roster, it's hard to say who is the scariest, because I'm looking at it and I think every single one has their strengths. We've got, of course, Firebat making an appearance again after sitting out 2018. Aristia, aka Pring, making an appearance despite sitting out last year, who, like, if you know Aristia, if you give him an aim map, he will FC it basically every time. Flying Tuna as well. And then 3 new names in Ponytail, Zyson, and DDM. Ponytail and Zysa known for being extremely fast players, and DDM as one of the strongest like hidden tech players out there right now.
Yeah, DDM certainly made a name for himself in the last year or so. I don't know how much of that he'll get to show in the World Cup, but it's always nice to have like that one player that, you know, if the map shows up,
Yeah,
he will too, you know?
exactly. And I'm sure like those skills will translate to maps like Variable, where you can take off hidden and it'll still be somewhat the same map. I do want to note something of interest, that Gomo has been the captain the last couple of years and was posting about their roster, and they had a different player. They had Hugh, Huue, I think is how you pronounce it, who couldn't actually play this year. They had to swap him out for Karuna. And I thought that was really interesting, that Karuna was the player that was like next in line, because I thought Karuna was one of the strongest players last year. I thought he performed so well.
Certainly, and I don't like this.
I, you know what? I don't either. I was gonna say it looked like Doko's Brain Power, like the 8-bit drummer one. This is the same background he uses on that map. But this is, oh Jesus. I'm gonna assume this is well, I can't assume anything, I guess.
I would safely assume this is the New Zealand warm-up.
Karuna and Yellowy both opting for easy mod. And honestly, adding easy on this just looks like, oh, it looks painful.
It does look a lot scarier with this skin, though.
You know how Osu will sometimes yell at you if you delete backgrounds? It'll say, Osu's angry. I think it'll be angry if you keep this one rather than...
I'd rather make Osu angry for this one, I think.
Make the sacrifice to remove this.
Sorry, Peppy. Just gonna have to delete a background. Just once.
You've seen it. I hope you would agree. Oh my god. I don't think... Wow. Did anyone hit those back and forth? I think Angel Sim did with Hard Rock.
Big Z. Apparently,
and Big Z, actually. Oh, wow. Was that like a custom hit sound that I just heard?
I'm not sure.
Or was that part of the song? It's hard to tell. You know, we were saying earlier about like how warm-ups kind of let you know something about the team. I don't know what this says about. If you think this is a warm-up, I don't know what this is supposed to say about your personality.
Because the Big Z's really good, apparently, because he's still comboing.
Either that or he's prepared this ahead of time and just knows all of the different gimmicks. Actually reminds me of when Taiwan played their washing machine map in OWC.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the song title. Is this a Pokemon song?
No idea, but it's a safe assumption. It's got a lengthy warm-up.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes long. I think my favorite part is during those back and forths when people just stopped being able to hit it. Like there was no like hit sound because no one was hitting any notes.
I think it's just because Ponytail just stopped playing entirely.
Yeah.
He didn't even bother trying.
I want to ask, is Ponytail using Tap X. Is he a Tap X player, or is he a mouse-only player? I don't think it's the latter. But I actually did not know that about him, if he is a Tap X player.
Yeah, it's actually one of the Korean players I'm not exactly familiar with.
And yet, I see him pop up, like, sporadically here and there with, like, insane pass.
Whoop!
Song is over.
I think he was just playing Tap X for the warm-up.
Maybe. Could be.
Anyway, well, now that's over. If we could move on to the next one and wipe the screen from this. Thank you.
Good thing they picked this first, otherwise we'd have to listen to this throughout the bands.
That was okay.
I guess so. It's just a reminder of what we've seen.
How many warm-ups do we have?
I feel like I should point out, I was mentioning Ponytail potentially playing Tap X. Tap X being a playstyle in which as one button you tap your pen on the tablet as a click, and the other one is to click the X key as the second one. So you're essentially using both hands to click, but in very different ways. Because with a Tap X style, you have to both aim and tap with your aiming.
Yeah, it can get kind of tricky.
But because you're using two hands, potentially you can go a lot faster with that style, because you're essentially alternating two wrists.
It's like playing taiko in standard.
But I think it's a lot more difficult to pick up. But once it's mastered, it is pretty volatile, to be honest. There's been some pretty historically good players that have used, good or fast players that have used Tap X style. I mean, you used it for a little bit when your wrist was bothering you, huh?
Yeah. It is like extraordinarily hard to aim, and you are so limited in map choice. So it's a little hard to pick up and like actually use. There are typically a couple of maps in OWC that it can be used on. For example, last year we had Everything Will Freeze.
Yeah, low spacing, streamy maps are usually where Tap X players or people who have that as a secondary skill will. Second warm-up being picked, not counting for the actual scores, but mapped by Flying and the song itself sounds like a banger. I'm into it. I just hope the background is pleasing.
I don't know, with the small tidbit we see of it, it looks like potentially scary. I don't know what's there.
Whoa!
Okay.
It's a man in a pink balaclava.
Is that what these are called?
Yeah, those are balaclavas.
That's actually the name.
Yeah.
Balaclavas?
Yeah, it's like the mask people use to rob banks and stuff.
I never knew that.
Yeah, you know the Arctic Monkey song?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I didn't know that's what it was
balaclava
named
is.
after.
A balaclava, aka ski mask or balaclava helmet, is a form of cloth headgear designed to expose only part of the face, usually the eyes and mouth.
Oh, thanks, Toy.
You learn facts every day here at Osu Live. I took a look at Flying Tuna's mapping recently, and there are some interesting things. There, like if you look at the patterns going on here, oh my gosh, they look brutal.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a Flying Tuna map.
There's a large full screen jumps where you don't expect them. You got some strange like overlapping patterns here and there, and then you have like slow sections that don't seem to be like mapped to anything. But all in all, some of them are pretty fun because they're just so like off the like look at that triangle pattern. What was that? I'm convinced that only Flying Tuna knows how to play Flying Tuna maps.
Probably, yeah. These don't these don't seem very friendly to many people. Big C somehow, I don't know how he's hitting all these patterns. Looks like a pretty crazy player. He's hitting everything. Everyone else is missing. He's hitting everything.
Big Z right now is actually the #1 New Zealand in PP rank, with a Zoomer close behind him. Both have a 10k PP.
All right. I like the inverse scores that they have. All right, that will be it for the warm-ups. So now we'll be getting into the roles and the bands.
With the rolls and the bangs and the picks and whoop.
Kind of curious to see. Kind of similar to last game. Nobody's really that familiar with the New Zealand players, or what they are particularly good at or weak at. So finding a band for South Korea might be a little complicated.
Yeah, it's either very scary because you have no idea what they're capable of, or it's just indicative of like, maybe they won't be too big of a problem. It's hard to say. They didn't seem to do terribly in the qualifiers. They were in the top 3/4 of the qualifying teams, barely. They're seed 24, and Korea jumping in at the 9th seed, barely missing that top 8 teams.
Yeah, screwed a lot of pick'ems, I think.
Yeah, I think people either didn't get either Canada or Brazil or both. I think it was where people would miss that. Because I think you mentioned that no one picked all 8.
I was gonna say that, yeah. Not a single person correctly guessed the top 8 qualifying teams. Not a single person at like 2,500. It's quite interesting. I don't know. To me, it shows that like there's a lot of competition for those top 8 spots. Right? You could realistically have maybe like 15 teams, more or less. Who do you choose to ban first? Who? Who are you banning first, Toy?
Who am I banning?
Yeah.
The referee. That way I can pick whatever I want.
Oh, smart.
No one's thought of that yet. Taking a look at New Zealand's like qualifier stage results, they were the 15th best team on Hidden and the 19th best team on DT. Those, I guess, were going to be their stronger picks. Probably Hidden. I know Yellowy is pretty strong with.
But they did just ban Hidden 1, so.
All right, never mind. You know what? Forget what I said.
I think it's just one of those things where you just, even if sometimes you're good at something, you just have to respect that the opponent is better at it. Maybe that's the case.
With an opponent like South Korea, it's hard to say what you could even be better at because they're just so well-rounded. No real notable weaknesses, honestly. a team roster that, like, again, on paper, you should recognize a lot of these names. They're spooky.
Yeah, they do have a very scary core. But again, 4 new players, I believe, 3 or 4 new players this year. So
Yeah, 3 new players. Though I think DDM has played in some tournaments. So I think Zaisen and Ponytail are relatively new to tournament.
still waiting on Curry's ban.
I'm sitting in my chair. I'm just kind of grooving to this song.
Yeah, seems like a hard decision.
Either that or they fell asleep.
Possible. Very unlikely. Extremely unlikely, but possible. Actually, I was gonna point this out last match. It didn't happen, so I didn't point it out. But I think one thing that happens commonly with specifically China for some reason, it happened during the Mania World Cup where they were all playing the 4Q World Cup that just happened, and every single person on the team disconnected, all of them.
What?
So it was just dead for like 3 minutes. No one knew what happened, and then all of their messages sent all at once, and they all got silenced.
Oh my gosh. Getting silenced kicks you out of multiplayer for 5 minutes. They just couldn't play. Hard Rock won ban from South Korea.
You haven't really seen much of that map. Actually, only seen it played once in 9 matches, I believe. But that will not be seen in this one. Creators banning out the consistency hidden, or Hard Rock rather, not hidden. Sorry.
Yeah, this one's been banned 3 times now, including this one. It'll be 4. Tokimeki Sugar, not a very popular map. I think it has to do with, like, it's a pending map, or I guess graveyarded map now. So it hasn't been through the same sort of like rigorous modding that ranked maps are generally like set to. So I think, despite it being a good map, I think it's got a few kinks here and there that will throw people off. People just don't want to mess with it.
Como giving New Zealand the first pick, so see what they have in store for us. It's the first time we see New Zealand play in 3 years. It's been a while.
I think that might also benefit them in the sense that they really want to make this like their best shot. Rather than
they
like,
could have a lot of secrets. We don't know. Nobody knows. Like we saw Big Z just pop off on the warm up. Maybe he's like secretly just like an insane player and nobody knows.
You know, New Zealand is frequently like left off of maps, like world maps. People will just literally forget to add New Zealand as a country. Like there's a whole subreddit dedicated to finding maps that have left New Zealand off of it. So I'm thinking like everyone in that country has just been like just cooking up in like a big like witches cauldron, some like crazy strats, and they're about to show them off because they're like, don't forget about us.
It looks like we can start off with Mephisto though, which is one of the easier maps in the pool. So this one map in particular as a first pick is kind of interesting to me because there's this one section with, I'm sure you know the one section with like the jumps, like the very like linear jumps. There's not many of them. Like about halfway in, I think with the nerves that might get a couple of people, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like right after a like 1/3 section. It's like a little diamond shape into a faster stream, and then like right after you got these like, what are they, like red like roses style jumps separating into the corners. Can expect to see quite a lot of mods on this one because I think due to the map being easier to aim, opens up a lot of potential for people to, add more mods. I think of all the maps that we've seen, more people would choose HDHR on this.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, but like we said last match, you do at least need one person on the hidden alone, so...
There's been 6 people who have played Mephisto with HDHR. And only 5 of them have played on Unagi with HD.
We'll be getting started with Korea versus New Zealand. Looks like a pretty conservative choice of mods for both teams, with Short Potato and Aristia on Hard Rock, Karuna and Div on the Hidden, and of course, everyone on No Fail.
Because why wouldn't you? There's no real reason to not. And Mephisto really stood the test of time as a map as well. This is mapped in like, what, 2013? 2014?
Oh, and Big Z actually finds the first break. Oh, Karuna answers back, and Div, and Short Potato. Okay, a lot of breaks. But, yeah, Korea still with the 3 full combos, so gonna have a pretty solid lead at the beginning here.
Wow. Get those early match nerves, I think.
Yeah.
They'll sneak up on you. You'll feel...
And there you go. Gets 3 people. No combos on the New Zealand side now.
And yet 3 still alive and well from South Korea.
So what? Huh? Wait, what? Is that client?
It's hard to tell. But Karuna and Firebat both looking like they missed on a reverse slider.
What? It was a hold reverse slider. No, it was okay. So it was client for Firebat. I don't know if Karuna's miss was real. I think it was. Just hasn't. Surely it would have updated by now.
Yeah.
It's a really weird place to get a slider break on, but not gonna matter too much, as Aristia and Flank Tuna is still holding full combos.
Everyone from New Zealand kind of recovering pretty well now. They found their footing. But Big Z dropping once again.
Yeah, after those initial jitters, it's like not many problems. Alright, okay. Every time we've mentioned them, one of their players has missed. Welcome to the World Cup, New Zealand. This is how it goes.
I hope you enjoy your stay. We're going to slap you with a 1 million point lead as your comeback, with Aristia, Flying Tuna, and Firebat all FCing. Karuna only with slider breaks as well. You can see as well, like Aristia with 96.9% AC, but about the same amount of points as Flying Tuna with a 99.6 no. So even though Aristia with the bonus points from using Hard Rock doesn't really matter too much if someone from New Zealand would answer back with a high accuracy. I think that's something Aristia is known for, is FCing everything, but with like 95% accuracy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, do we know it?
It's trademark move.
Gotta trade accuracy for combo.
Alright, so Korea will be taking the first pick, and it is now theirs to decide. So see what they go for.
Full momentum for Korea here, yeah. They get to do whatever they want right now. Of course, barring the banned maps, but that's a bit more obvious.
I'm actually kind of curious to see what type of map Korea will want to go for.
Like a Nomad 1. It's as weird as that sounds. I think
They are definitely a Nomad 1 country, yeah. I don't know, actually, they did ban Hard Rock 1, so I don't know. They're pretty similar.
There's a discrepancy between Hard Rock 1 and Nomad 1, at least in this pool. Nomad 1's a lot more straightforward. But yeah, like, the style of players they got, probably a DT map, or I would say like Nomad 1 could be expected. Because I think Firebat just played one map of the variable.
Nice.
Interesting. We'll probably see DDM come out for this. Like I was saying, this is the sort of map that DDM is known for.
I would hope to see him as well.
His first time playing in the World Cup. That's always exciting. I was saying, like, Firebat, I think, played one map of the qualifiers and FC'd Nomad 1, and that was arguably a more difficult map than this one, so they've got the team for it.
I think most people will just be happy to see Firebat playing at all.
Yeah, especially after he skipped last year.
Looks like Kerner will be dropping out. We're gonna see DDM step in.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Oh, actually, maybe Gomo.
Yeah.
Gomo would be pretty solid. Yeah, there he is. Big man Captain Gomo stepping in. And then stepping right back out. Where'd he go?
Oh, there you go. Hey, just got debated. DDM coming in. Playing his first map in the World Cup ever. I'm quite curious to see how he's gonna go in particular, because I think everyone would expect to do really good on this, but like I just said, it is his first OWC match, or his map played in OWC like ever, right? So I don't know, that tends to do a thing on people's nerves usually, right? So
A little bit, though he is playing in community tournaments, so he's not new to the community scene at all. I think he'd do all right. High accuracy at the very least if he doesn't FC.
yeah, what happened?
For sure.
I gotta say, just these 4 names on the screen for Korea is so scary. These are all like just really good players.
Which is why it's so crazy that they qualified at 9th. Like, not to like disparage their team in any way, just like the competition of the tournament. Like, if these 4 players already, like, big names in just single player general, they're placing 9th across this tournament. Honestly, looking at the entire like roster list for this year, it looks to be like the most competitive year of OS World Cup that we've seen.
For sure.
I think we say that every year, but this year especially, I just think like the discrepancy between teams is nearly non-existent. Like, it could go in anyone's favor at like any real like forking into
in the first section. Still 2 SSs. Okay, never mind. So Flying Tuna does break it, but yes, that's Aristia with the 100. DDM now also at 100 on the harder part of the map, and Flying Tuna with 2. That's pretty absurd. It's really insane accuracy lead from Korea, but again, any misses could change it, and Faye and Big Z do find misses, although it wasn't me this time. Listen, it was the hard part of the map, right? Okay.
It is difficult, and they were both slider breaks, so
yeah.
All S's across the board still. But you can see Korea's little red bar of doom is growing down at the bottom, especially as Faye misses again. The 2 veterans of OWC, Short Potato and Yellowy, still holding on for New Zealand.
no drops from any play. Oh, okay. Broke. Wristed just breaks there. Just releases the buzz slider too early.
No, that was client.
Oh, okay.
I have to say right now, having 4 FCs and 6 across the entire board right now on this map, still up, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I don't want to curse anything, but we're in the hard part, so to get through this, very likely to get through with 4 FCs, which we have not really seen at all. We've only seen that in one match, which was yours, I believe, on Mephisto.
Look at DDM. Look at his accuracy. 99.6. 99.7. Flying
everyone.
Wow.
Oh, please tell me that was client. DDM, no,
wait, that was a 50.
No,
okay. 50. I think DDM did break, as did Short Potato, but still 4 FCs remaining from
that's tragic.
both
It
teams.
was after the hard part. It was done. No 4-way FC, but still an incredible performance from Korea there. Basically 4 FCs with DDM's pretty absurd accuracy. 600s on this is insane, honestly.
S's for everyone. We're just out. Santa came early, dropped an S, and everyone's stuck. Wow.
Yeah, and honestly, New Zealand played that map like super well as well, with only just 2 unlucky breaks from Faye and Big Z at the very like middle of the map. So they showed up huge too, but I don't know what you do against basically 4 FCs on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like getting 377,000 or what, 3,777,000 across like your 4 players on a Nomad play, that you're looking real strong. If you cap out at around 4 million and you're getting 3.7 million, whew, that is a good pick for you.
Yeah, I think that was, I would say so far from at least the matches I've seen, that was like the most dominant first pick, or like the best performance on a team's first pick, I should say.
Yeah.
Like nothing really went wrong. It was super clean, other than the tiny oopsie DDM I had at the end. But now New Zealand will be going for Hard Rock 2, so the more old school Hard Rock CS5 map.
Interesting response from New Zealand. I'm wondering if they're just feeling more comfortable on it themselves. They're trying to poke some sort of hole in Korea. It's not like Korea did particularly poorly in the Hard Rocks of group stage either. 3.6 mil on both. But New Zealand slightly, like a little bit behind on them, like 3 million, 2.8 million on the Hard Rocks of the group stage, or not group stage, I guess, qualifiers.
I think I would have to say Korea is probably one of the more well-rounded teams.
Absolutely.
I don't see a weakness in this Korean roster, so it's very hard to pick against or ban against.
I honestly think that because they went out so early last year, that people are going to be kind of turning a blind eye to them, and they're going to show up pretty strong this entire tournament. Like, I think they're going to shatter a couple expectations for them, while people are looking at the bigger names of like Poland and the UK. I think South Korea is going to make a pretty strong run in the background.
Yeah, a lot of really strong teams. Like last year, it was pretty much just USA versus UK, and that's what everyone was talking about. No one else was really mentioning any of the teams. You know, like Germany was good, but you know they're like third place good. You know, and now this year it's like there's like 6 teams that could make the finals, like easily, even more than 6, but like 6. Depending on who you ask, you're gonna get around 6 different answers, right? So
yeah.
It's very
Like
interesting.
Germany was good last year, but that was because they proved themselves to be that good last year. But this year, it's like you just look at the rosters on paper, and you're like, what do you do? Nucifera, the first break of the map.
It's worth noting a very sizable accuracy lead for the Koreans here. It's already a 200k score gap.
A couple of client misses there. That was goofy. No one actually missing on that reverse slider. You know, we kind of laughed at Aristia for FCing aim maps with low accuracy, but look at him. He's got the highest one on Korea right now. Well, now flying tuna, but still holding 98. Very strong.
Yeah, Ponytail does find the first Korean miss, and Karuna follows it up, but it's a little too late. It's pretty much most of the map is over, even though it's only 2 FCs to 2. Still a 300k score lead, but it is slowly shrinking. Okay, hold on. Flying Tuna does miss. I don't think there's enough map left.
I don't think so either.
But
hard to say. You got to give a credit to the New Zealand team, though. 2 FCs.
Yeah, there was a glimmer of hope there at the end, but map's too short, unfortunately. It's needed like another 10 seconds, maybe. Again, good performances out of Short Potato and Yellowy with those full combos, but just not enough to take Aristia down.
Really just shows that having that experience in previous World Cups, I think, really helps you out for the future ones, either because you are more experienced in dealing with the nerves of playing in it. If you're good enough to be playing that many years, then you're probably going to be one of the better players of your team. But good job. Good job to all 3 of them for FC.
And the pick is back to Korea's. Have to see what the choice is this time. Nomad went extremely well for them last time, so again, Nomad 1 still open.
They also did pretty well in hidden like the AR8 hidden last week. They got the 8th best hidden 2 play of the qualifying stage. Yet, I don't know if they'll pick that.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different.
I still do think that Korea is mainly a no-mod team and dips into DT at times, but yet is still strong on hidden and hard rock when they need to be. I think you can kind of see that when they play in free mods, they'll opt to keep 2 players on no mod rather than to add more mod play. They just like playing no mod, really.
Taking their time to pick. I think compared to last game, at least, they seem a little bit unprepared, at least undecisive. Whereas last game, people would just instantly pick map. But it is going to be 4 ultra players, so a bit of a speedier nomad.
I think it might be because might be a little shaken up by how well New Zealand is performing. Even though, granted, the match is going 3-0 right now, New Zealand is playing pretty well, especially for such a low-seeded team, right? Where are they right now? They're at 24th seeded team, and they're getting a few pretty good FCs here and there.
Yeah, it's always easy to just be like, all right, we are on paper, right? The qualifier is much better than this team. Like, there's no possible way we can lose. It's like, it can be kind of easy to get complacent like that. But yeah, no, New Zealand shows that it's there's always a fight to be put up, even though it is 3-0. A lot of these maps have been kind of close. We'll be seeing Zoomer coming in.
I think I should mention that, like, as I was saying, that Korea is a more nomad heavy team. They scored 5th, 3rd, and 5th on nomads 1, 3, and 4, respectively, for qualifiers. Like, they are very, very strong on nomad, just all around. Though we've seen this map in particular for ultra players has tripped some people up, especially last match that we just. It's been a bit shaky for people.
Definitely.
Getting into it, getting the client back to synced. Hard to tell who's still holding combo and who's had early breaks, but as things kind of shape up a little bit, looks like Big Z has missed pretty early.
I think it was right at the beginning too, so it shouldn't really matter too much. I think for now what matters the most is accuracy, and that seems to be in favor of Korea. Big Z does find another break, as well as Gomo.
Short Potato also missed earlier, so there's only 2 FCs to 3 New Zealand to Korea. So despite Gomo missing, Korea still has the advantage. And it is a really short song, like it's already halfway over. The lead's still creeping up towards Korea.
New Zealand actually just lose an FC there, so it's only Zoomer.
And you really have to hand it to the Korean team, like this match. They've come in here with like absolutely no nonsense. They've came ready to play.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think at least so far from all of the like top contender teams that we've seen play, Korea looks really good. As I do say that, Firebat does fight a miss. Shouldn't matter too much.
I think they're the ones that have like looked the most ready to play and like dominating of the teams that you would expect to dominate.
Man, that was quite a convincing map for them. I think 900k ahead.
They've had a match. They've had a map where they won by like 1 million, and then another one now 900,000. Like these are very, very convincing wins. Aristia and Flying Tuna coming in with FC against a none for New Zealand, I believe.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out what to do if you're New Zealand here. Kind of tried a couple of different things. At least it is their pick, but okay, it looks like they're going for Silver Orbit, which is...
Oh, I was about to say, like, if you're in this situation, you're backed up against the wall, why not just throw out this? See what happens.
This is a wrench in the plans. But you did just say Korea had the best low AR hidden score in the qualifiers, right? So
No, I didn't say they had the best. I said that they've got a pretty solid one, but looking at New Zealand, they're not too far behind.
Yeah, this should be quite interesting. This map, if you guys haven't seen it yet, it was exclusively mapped for this round of the World Cup, and it is quite something. It's not very sight read friendly, so let's hope all of these people have practiced it well.
And I mean, looking at the Korean team's performance so far, they look like they were very well prepared. So, I mean, if you really wanted to catch them off guard on something, this is probably the map to do it on. And yet, even then, they don't look like they're going to be, like, letting up too much.
Yeah, New Zealand have a long road ahead if they want to win this match. It'll be quite a feat, honestly, but it's 4-0 right now. Let's hope they can at least get a point in. I think they do deserve one.
I mean, Considering how well they've been doing for like a pretty mid to lower seeded team, I think they've been doing pretty well.
We'll see if everyone practiced. I think it becomes pretty apparent if someone didn't. I think I really like this map, or this type of map being the pool, because it's something we see in other World Cups a lot. Like a lot of practice, let's say practice heavy picks, right? It's not necessarily memory, but it's very practice heavy. And we don't really get to see that too often in Standard, and we finally do get to see it. I think that's very nice. Face struggling a little bit with the beginning there.
Yeah, but everyone else looking like they're pretty comfortable with the map, or at least have practiced it quite a bit.
Yeah, just missed a lot of the stacks, the harder to read stacks. See, even now we're getting full hundreds. I don't think he's practiced. I don't want to say it, but
don't tell anyone.
Yeah, everyone else actually doing really good though. Oh, sharp potato, that's my break. But I was gonna say, from what we've seen before, okay, there we go. There, this is starting to happen.
I was gonna say that it maybe Goma hasn't practiced either, because he was sitting at like about 93%.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about this map is the fact that it's like 3.5 minutes. Because most people might play this, like they'll play the intro and they're like, all right, okay, I know this map. And then, you know, there's 3 more minutes.
I mean, look at that. 3 FCs still for Korea versus 1 from Yellowy.
Also, almost 399% FCs, worth noting.
Well, as you say that, DDM drops to like 88, 98 points.
And Karuna.
Whoops.
And the longer this goes on, the more this looks like a pretty good point for Korea. Still 3 FCs to 1.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it's going to be the second 5-0 sweep of the round of 32 so far. First one being Australia versus Finland. It's just not a lot to say when the players here are saying everything for you. Just letting you know just how strong they are.
Yeah, it's actually quite nice to see. I did say earlier, a lot of the very one-sided matches on paper actually weren't really one-sided. We've seen a lot of people just drop like one map or two, and yeah, Korea just not having any of that, just coming up, showing up their best game and getting 3 FCs on Silver Orbit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some maps, or you look at some matches that are 5-0, and like you'll comb through the match. People are winning by maybe 50k, 100k. Korea has been consistently winning by like millions, like 1 million. Just outstanding from all of them.
Yeah, I'm going to say, at least so far, definitely the most impressive performance out of any team that's played this round. South Korea with the clean sweep, and New Zealand did try. They did show up pretty well.
Yeah, they
but
didn't.
It's just not
poorly.
enough.
They really didn't do poorly. It's just that you come against a team like this that's ready and prepared and has practice, and it's like it's almost futile to even try.
They sure tried, though. At least it's not over for them yet. New Zealand will be, of course, moving on to the losers bracket.
They will face Finland there, the other team that was subjected to a 5-0 loss. and South Korea moving on to face Australia next week. That will be exciting, I'm sure. Because as I know, from what I know of the Australian team, they are also trying very, very hard this year. I think they realize that they've got a pretty strong roster and they want to make the most of it. So if both of these teams are going to be trying their absolute hardest, that's a match to watch next week.
For sure. Actually, the next 3 matches are probably the 3 hypest ones, I would say. So if you're going to be looking to watch some high-quality World Cup action, make sure you tune in to the next 3 matches. Those will easily be at least on paper, the 3 closest games, right? I think the games of the tournament, I believe Japan versus Romania, Taiwan versus Denmark, and Sweden versus France. Really, really close games. So,
and they're all in a small little block for your viewing pleasure. Can't wait for that. That'll be really exciting, actually.
Definitely, and I believe that wraps it up for us. So thanks for joining today. Thanks for commentating with me, Toy. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, same to you. It's a fun couple matches.
Make sure you guys tune in 7 hours for some more action. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.